Good morning, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101. And we're going to talk about GM. GM is an old car maker of the United States of America. It's only two U.S. car makers now, guys. It's only Ford and GM. That's it. That's all we have. We don't have Chrysler. We don't have Dodge. We just have GM and Ford. We don't have any of those vehicles that people used to like. Oh, I got a Dodge 1500 Ram and a American made, American slayed, American. It's not American made no more, guys. It hasn't been American made for a while. I believe that Fiat bought out Chrysler Dodge for quite some time now. So you got Ford, you have Lincoln. You no longer have Mercury. Mercury is done. I think Mercury was also bought out. One of the extensions of Ford was bought out. What else do you have? And you have GM. And GM has what? GM, GMC, Chevy. I may be missing one or two, but that's it. There's really no more American car makers at all. They're pretty much done. But GM and Ford has been holding it down for America. And I know some of you guys will only buy American. You simply will only buy American. I totally understand that. But GM, just like Ford, they are tiptoeing, they are low crawling into a space of electric vehicles, electric cars, electric trucks. Now, I absolutely love what GM is doing. I absolutely love it. Because what we need to understand is that if you don't innovate, if you don't grow in this space, you will absolutely die. In the case of a company, you'll go bankrupt. You will. You would think that a company like Ford, who didn't take a bailout, you would think a company like GM would never, ever go bankrupt. But it's possible if you don't change with the trying times. You don't change with the change for the future, essentially, because you have to future-proof your company. Now, I believe they're kind of late to the ball game, but at least the ball game is not over. Okay, at least the ball game is not over. They're late to the ball game, but the ball game is not over, okay? So let's get into the conversation. Let's get into the stock review, and let's learn a little bit more about GM to see, is this a stock that I want to invest in right now? I don't want to invest in at all. Is it buy and hold? Is it buy an option? Let's look at some of their so-called credentials to see if they're worth buying into, okay? So let's go over to Robinhood and look at their 5-year line chart here. So the past 5 years, look, guys, they haven't even gotten 10%. No, they even have 10%. That doesn't mean that you can't make any money. That doesn't mean that at all. There's plenty of people out there making hundreds of thousands and $1 million of GM, okay? And you really can't time the market. People talk about timing the market. The market, again, is an untimely, fickle beast that you just can't time. You just have to know when to get out on certain shares and stocks, right? And that's the importance of educating yourself on news, etc. So anyway, over the past 5 years, they've been teetering 8.5%, 8%. The past year, they've been down 18.3%. The last 3 months, they've been up 10%. That's not bad. The last month, up 16%. You see the deals. The past week, they've been up 3%. And today, they are down 1.42. But lately, as you can tell, GM has been doing some things in the market. They've been doing some great things that I think that will actually absolutely help their shares. Okay. If you guys are not familiar with GM, let's read a little bit about them. Okay. General Motors engages in the designing, manufacturing, and selling of cars, trucks, and automobiles. It also provides automotive financial services through General Motors Financial Company. The firm operates through the following segments: GM North America, GM International, Cruise, and GM Financial. It sells vehicles under the Chevrolet, Cadillac. That's what GM makes. That's the one I forgot. Cadillac Bojan, B-A-N-G-U. And I think that's an adventure vehicle or all-terrain vehicle. I believe they made for the Australians. I think they made that for the Australians. We're going to look into that particular vehicle. Buick, GMC, Holden, or was it the Holden? It was one of these. Jeff Fang, Willing, Maverick, and OnStar brands. The company was founded by William C. Durant on September 16th, 1908. Okay, very, very, very old company, more than 100 years old, and it's headquartered in Detroit, Michigan. Okay, CEO, if you guys didn't know, is actually a female. I applaud that. There's some movement in that. Mary Teresa Brar. Employees are roughly 164,000. Of course, the headquarters is Michigan, Detroit, Michigan. Dividends yield 5%. We're going to get into that as well. Market capitalization or market cap is $46.34 billion. Average volume is 18.3 million. Here are their collections. You have 100 most popular stocks, automotive, banking, and Michigan. Okay. So before I forget, I just want to take a gander at this particular brand. Okay. I want to take a gander and see if I was right about this truck. Okay, I could be wrong. Okay, is a Chinese automotive marquee owned by a joint venture of General Motors. Well, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. They are also in China making a vehicle. Okay, so which vehicle was I talking about that's out of Australia? Is it Holden? Is it Holden, says formerly known as General Motors? Is an Australian, there it is. Okay, I was right. It's an Australian automotive marquee and former automotive manufacturer, which manufactured cars in Australia before switching to importing cars under the Holden brand, okay? Under the parent organizations, General Motors Overseas, Commercial Vehicle Corp, General Motors Australia. Again, General Motors is an international car maker. I absolutely love that, General Motors, okay? General Motors keeping the American dream alive in China and in Australia. We're going to get into some of these, but I want you to remember this one headline right here. Electric vehicles newbie, Nikola, soars while Tesla and big tech sell-off worsens. But here's the one that is helping GM's brand. GM will supply batteries and fuel cells for Nikola electric trucks. Think about that. Think about that. Now, what was that vehicle, guys, that was made by GM? The Chevy Volts? Remember they started making electric vehicles early on. I don't know if it was a hybrid or not, but I knew that it was. I don't think it was the Volt gasoline, or was it a hybrid gasoline and electric? Somebody correct me in the chat because I'm not too sure. But that was kind of their first wave of dealing with electric vehicles, and then they kind of like, teetered back a little bit. They kind of moved back on that position of them actually investing in electric vehicles. I thought they were going to continue with that, okay? I thought, I don't know why they didn't do that, but now they're taking an electric vehicle company that solely does electric vehicles, and they're making and supplying their batteries and fuel cells. And what you're going to find out, they're also making the platform for Nikola. So right now, GM has an 11% stake in Nikola, and Nikola actually has to open up a position on the board of directors for one of the GM executives so they can have some decisions, so they can have some input. Most important, they can know all the deals they're doing. Like, wait a minute, what are y'all doing? Hold up. Well, we got 11% stake. We gave you guys $2 billion. We don't see how that's going to make you guys money. Okay. GM and Ford are the only two American car makers that's gasoline based, and we're still around. You might want to listen to us. I know you guys are in electric vehicle space. I know that's a new tech thing. We got it, but you might just, want to listen to us because I believe Nikola is out of America as well. Let me just make sure I'm not putting my foot in my mouth here, but they named their car company out of Nikola Tesla, and Tesla named their car company out of Nikola Tesla. So I call it Nikola, but it's Nikola, okay? So Formal words. But anyway, it's the way I pronounce certain words. It's not like I can pronounce all of them correctly. Here we go. Nikola Corporation is an American company that has announced a number of concept zero-emission vehicles since 2016 and has indicated plans to produce some of them in the future. The company is based in Phoenix, Arizona, where a research and development facility is located, okay? CEO is Mark Russell, founder Trevor Milton, founded in Salt Lake City. CFO is Kim Brady, another female in high executive positions. I absolutely love that. They need to get their recognitions, okay? All right. So analyst ratings, 0. Don't sell it, okay? We have T Hood in the chat. We have Dr. Algebra, and we have Jermaine Anderson. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. Now, Peace King said you trade or mostly invest long term. I do both. I believe in diversification. I believe that you need to do both. When you trade, you're doing more gambling, in my opinion, in the market. But when you invest long term, that is when you start making really good money. But I believe that a good trade-off, like myself, I like to shave off my earnings every now and again to buy something I really want. So I do both. That's just my strategy of investing. It's not, I don't teach people that same strategy. Well, let me take that back. I teach people different forms of strategy based on their lifestyle, based on what they want. If you want any more information, in the description below, guys, you can go to rossworldfinancial.com. That's rossworldfinancial.com and get more information. Dr. Adams says, Australia Gym has shut down. Okay, that's information I did not know, but we can look into that as well. Thank you for that information. And Jermaine Anderson says, good morning, Brother Ross and everybody. Well, good morning to you, good sir. So anyway, they said buy 83%, hold 17%, 0 shares change. Now, because I usually read bulls and bears, bulls are people who are betting on the market to do well, and bears are like, this is why the market or this stock is not going to do well. But today I'm going to focus on the bull. GM can charge thousands of dollars more per vehicle in light truck segments. Higher prices with fewer incentive dollars allow GM to get more margin per vehicle. Basically, charging you more. This is what they're saying. Charging you more, offering less, they get paid more. Okay, that's what they're saying. It says, which helps migrate a severe decline in light vehicle sales and fall in market share. It says break-even point of about 10 million to 11 million units is drastically lower than it was under the old GM. The company's earnings should grow rapidly as GM becomes more cost efficient. GM U.S. hourly labor cost is about $5 billion compared with about $16 billion in 2005 under the old GM. So what that means to me is they let a lot of people go. They decrease a lot of people's pay, or they didn't give people raises. And most certainly what I believe is they no longer offer those retirement plans. You remember back in the day, probably before our time, but well, maybe depending on how old you are, that people would encourage you, go get you a good union job, go get you a good factory job. Your granddaddy, your father worked in that job for 20, 30 years, and now they're paying them every month. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, those companies no longer exist. Now, granted, there may be a couple out there, but that platform of business and paying people 20, 30, 40, 50 years after they work 20 or 30 years for your company. Oh, your granddaddy worked in our factory for 30 years, and for 30 years later, they were paying him. They're not doing that no more. Absolutely not. So believe me, pension plans went away here. What this is telling me is there was a cutoff point. They said, hey, from this date to this date, these people beyond this date, 2005 and earlier, you guys are grandfathered in our old school retirement plan. People from 2005 and above, 401k. That's all you get. The money you save for yourself, and we may match you 3, 4, 5 points, okay, or 3, 4, 5%. That's it. We're not giving you no more. You work 20, 30 years, and we're going to pay you until the day you die. No. We're not doing that no more. Okay, so you're going to have to save for your own future. We're not taking care of you. Thank you for your blood, sweat, and tears, sacrificing your family hours, but we're not doing that anymore. That's basically what that tells me. All right, their quarterly earnings. As you can tell, GM was doing quite well in 2019. They declined that last quarter in 2019, and then they kind of bounced back Q1, and now they're down Q2. So this is why probably GM is doing a lot of great things. I wonder what people also bought. I'm probably thinking I'm going to see Nikola down here. Let's see. I don't know why they don't have that up here, because people also bought Nikola, okay? Nikola or Nikola. But in this segment, you have Ford Motors, of course, the only other American car maker that gasoline based. GE, Bank of America, and Coca-Cola, all American companies, okay? Let's move on. All right. Did you miss out on Tesla's big run? There are still good alternative play. Now we're not getting into that. Where's my GM? Where's my GM? Here we go. Let's see here. All right. So the 52-week range, wow. We lost, listen, you and I, we have lost a lot of money. And the reason why I like to say this in this particular matter is because we didn't know about this. We didn't know that GM was hitting stock, hitting Ford prices, because Ford, man, ooh, Lord have mercy on their soul. Ford was up to what? Was it $13, $14 or $12 or something like that a share? Now they're down 6 or 7. I haven't looked at them lately. But yeah, we would have got in on GM at $14 and then almost up to $40 a share. And we sold at that high price, because now they're what, at $31, $32 a share. GM is. And GM, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. GM is a company that's operating out of profit. Okay, they're a profitable company with an earnings per share EPS at $1.05. Dividends, 38 cents. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not getting a lot for your dividends, because a lot of times people tell you buy dividend stock. Dividends are going to pay you. Let me tell you, you really shouldn't be looking into, especially early on, that stocks is going to pay you dividends. It's good that they offer dividends, but that growth potential is where you absolutely want to be. Now, if you have 100,000 and you're going to go in and just invest in GM, because I don't believe GM is not going anywhere for a while, because GM is 100 and still running, 100 years old and still running. So that's really good. That's a really solid company, in my opinion. A lot of good people making good decisions in the business world. Now, granted, throughout the course of time, people have made bad decisions, but not so bad that the company went bankrupt or out of business, okay? Like Sears and Kmart and Woodruff and what's the other one? I forgot, old companies. But nonetheless, this reminds me of a dividend stock, I believe. I don't know if they still offer them, but it's Qqq. I remember this particular stock right here. Now, of course, every share is $278 roughly, okay? Let's see. Dividends, it says yield here, 0.59%. They're not, this is why I love, it says the next dividend is, okay, they already paid out their dividends. So let's quickly just take a detour, okay? We're going to take a quick detour, because I just want to show you a dividends. It says Qqq Dividends, okay? So the current, it's a dividend payout for Investico as of September 4th, 2020 is $1.63. Now we're talking about high dividend, but look at the share price. Look at the stock price. You have to buy multiple, and people saying, and I said this plenty of times, there's a lot of elderly people, baby boomers, okay, that are living off their dividends because they bought stocks like this when they were like $50, $20, okay? So a lot of them may have Ford, a lot of them may have GM, and they bought these particular stocks at a very, very low price, So when you buy and hold, and over the course of time, those stocks increase in growth, their growth potential increases, their valuations increase, and also their dividends. So a lot of them are living off their dividends. But nowadays, the financial market, the financial world is always changing. And now you have cryptocurrencies with Bitcoins and blockchain technology. So there's a lot of things that are occurring in this space that is changing the very fabric of investments. It's changing the very environment of the way we do business with money, period, okay, period. So you're not seeing great dividends like you used to see and stocks at a lower price point offering high dividends. So you got to get in at 278. It just went up. I'm telling you, Qqq, this stock right here. Now, I'm about to do a stock review on this one. Now, I'm not going to go from GM because I still got some more information to cover, but I do want to make you aware for some of you power investors out there who got, maybe $500 to invest. Now, I'm going to go 5 years. Look at this. Look at this. Now, it hasn't increased as much as some of the other stocks I've shown you. It only went up in the past 5 years, $174, but it's still going up. And where is it? See, they don't even list the dividends right here. Okay, but you've seen the dividends at what was it? $1.63. Then you have other people in the field, but I don't like to go here because when you get up into these markets, I would love for you guys to invest in this long before it reaches into the hundreds of dollars. Okay, we're moving on. Now, this is imperative right here. So let's do some images. Let's see if they're going to show us some Nikola Truck. So this is what you guys are investing in essentially, okay? Here's the Nikola Truck, okay? That GM is building the platform, the fuel cells, and the batteries. Now, I doubt if GM will steal some of these designs. This seems like an off-road vehicle. It has lights here. Can you see that? Lights there, lights, all electric, okay? I mean, it's not a bad-looking truck. Now, I don't know how much you're going to be charging people for these trucks, but it's not a bad looking truck, okay? Not at all. If I had the money and I wanted a truck that had a bunch of LED lights that can play music and the LED lights play to the music. I'm just kidding. Okay. So this is why this stock may be profitable, both GM and Nikola, okay? Now, if you come down here, it says, this is a great deal for GM because it entails no upfront cash outlay. No upfront cash, okay? JP Morgan analyst Ryan Brinkman wrote in a Wednesday research report, he went out to list several benefits, including billions in new sales and validation of GM's battery technology. Remember what I told you, that GM is equipping Nikola with their battery technology and their fuel cell technology. What else? What else? Let's see what else we got here. I have one more story under this brand. Oh, and we're going to get into where they actually build these vehicles at, okay? And I'm going a little bit more in details than I usually do, guys, because I really believe that GM is going to turn it around. Ford, they kind of backed away from, was it Workhorse I was referring to? I forgot. But anyway, they're also dealing with an electric vehicle company too. It says GM, if you read this, GM stocks on new sales of stake in electric vehicle. Just some of the hairlines here. Look at this right here. It says, under the terms of agreement, General Motor, I'm right here, will engineer and build Nikola's pickup truck name. It will build Nikola's pickup truck named Badger. That's the name of that truck, was Badger. They're going to build it. They're going to build cars for another car company, okay? GM will take an 11% stake in Nikola and have the right, okay? Not the option, the right to nominate one person to the board of directors. The 11%, or roughly $2 billion, equity stake will be due from in-kind contributions, okay? So they're going to have 11% stake, they're giving up $2 billion. they're going to have somebody on the board of directors. So essentially, they're going to be doing a lot of things at the GM factories. And that leads me segue to my next thing. So here's some of the markets and some of the countries that GM operates out of. I'm not going to get into the name and the city and all of that. We're just going to get into the country. So at the top, you see Egypt, of course, United States, and Flint, Michigan. South Korea, that's one I did not know. I knew they was in Egypt. They're also in France. They're also in Colombia. Now, granted, this is a list of the current factories, okay? Current factories. You guys can't probably see that. Let me blow this up some. Let me blow this up. Okay, you can probably see that now. And of course, they have different vehicles. Okay, they got the N series out here. So they're only building these particular trucks. I mean, I got it. They're not sending all the trucks you see in America over to these foreign countries. When I was in Japan, what was the name of that Chevy vehicle? A PT Cruiser. I was in Japan going down the opposite side of the road. That's how they do in Japan. And I saw a car lot and they had PT Cruiser. I'm like, why they got PT Cruisers over here? I was very, very young. I think I was maybe 18, 19 years of age. I don't know. I don't recall. But anyway, you got Egypt, you got the United States, you got France, and they got the Renault, you got the Master Mascot, the Nissan Insert. These are vehicles that are not offered in the United States. They're just for that particular country. So yeah, okay. You also okay, United States, you got Colombia. And look what they have in Colombia. You have Chevrolet Spark GT. You got the Cobalt. Okay. You got Canada. They got this Chevrolet Equinox factory. Again, these are factories that are building certain vehicles for that market. Okay. Certain vehicles for that market. In South Korea, they got the Spark. Of course, they got a lot of smart vehicles. In Korea, they have that vehicle as well. Okay. The Opel Car, the Damas, that's a pickup truck. Well, work truck. The Labo, another work truck. South Korea, they got a couple of factories in South Korea, as you can tell. Japan, they got the Chevrolet LUV. I never really heard of this one. It says a light pickup truck designed, manufactured by Isuzu. And then in Brazil, okay, what a lot of Afro-Brazilians are, Afro-Latinas in Brazil, they have the Chevrolet Onix, which is a sedan. That's not a bad-looking sedan. They can bring that over here if it's cheaper. And you have the Chevrolet Prism. I believe we have that. Then India. Look, they let the Americans in India, okay? Chevrolet Spark again. The Chevrolet Beat looks like the same vehicle to me. Chevrolet Sail, which is a four-door sedan, okay? We got Japan, United States, Hungary, okay? I am hungry. I didn't eat breakfast yet. Opel. So there's the vehicles and other Suzukis, okay? See, Ecuador, I didn't know that. It says the Chevrolet Bus. Okay, so it's a work truck. Look like a pickup truck as well. The D-Max, that is a pickup truck with look like a cover on it, a small SUV. Chevrolet Suzuki Ventara. You got the Chevrolet Vio. Let's see what else. Ventara again. What else we got? Thailand, Mexico. What do we got in Mexico, in Thailand? The Colorado. Small pickup truck, the Chevy Cruze, Optra, Vio, Captivia, and Mexico. They got the Chevrolet Blazer. Okay, got the Chevrolet Blazer, Chevrolet Equinox. You know what? That brings me into something about Mexico. It has rung my bell. Let me finish this. I'm going to speed through this because I think we cover most of the countries. But I'm going to tell you something about Mexico that you guys probably didn't know about. We got Argentina with Cruise. We have Brazil again. What else? Any other companies that stand out? That's pretty much it. Now, a lot of people may not know this, but I used to think a while ago that there was no Africans in Mexico at any other time. I didn't know this. I think I was around 2022, and I met a very dark-skinned Mexican, and I was like, he almost looks black, but you can tell he was Mexican, okay? He had the Mexican so-called hair texture, okay? And I was like, if you don't mind, where are you from? He's like, I'm from Mexico. I was like, oh, okay. He said, I am Afro-Mexican. I said, what? Because here's the thing. I didn't know until this is around 22, 23 years of age. I started doing research, well, where they dropped all the Africans that the Europeans enslaved, especially the Spanish, because, the Spanish dropped off people in the Caribbean. They dropped off people in Dominican Republic. They dropped off people, the Portuguese dropped off people in Brazil. So that's why you have all these different Africans around the world, and they speak all these different languages, okay? And then we have to understand, like the Portuguese, they dropped off like 5 million Africans in Brazil. And that's why a lot of them speak Portuguese. And then also Angola and Mozambique in Africa speak Portuguese, which Portugal was actually colonizing those particular countries in Africa. But I was like, I never seen an Afro-Mexican, because when I look at a Dominican, when I look at a Puerto Rican, when I look at a Colombian and they have dark skin, they also have African features, okay? Especially our Dominican and our Puerto Rican brethren, okay? Those Afro-Latinas, because the way our hair shapes, we all kind of have this lump, okay? And if you look at most Mexicans, okay, they have a flat head in the back, okay? It's flat. They don't have that lump. Most Africans, people of African descent, have a lump on the back of their head. And this gentleman actually had, let me look up something really quickly in case you guys are interested, because I'm almost done, because I'm going to talk about Snowflake again. But here's the thing. Okay, give me 1 second. All right, let me share this with you guys. Let me pop up one more site. Okay, all right, looked it up. Okay, here we go. Look at this. We exist. We're here. Afro-Mexicans make the census after a long struggle for recognition. Okay? Now, I never really talked nobody in depth about this, but I know a lot of so-called white Mexicans. They have really light skin, but they also have that hair. And you can tell in their face structures and some of their features that they're Mexican. But some of them actually can blend in if they were go to Spain, okay? Your white Mexicans. We understand that the Spain did a lot of raping. Let's just put it that way. I won't get into that. It says the Afro-Mexican population often overlooked in Mexico's cultural mosaic, but this year marks a statistical first, okay? So you can tell right up in here in his face that, let me blow that up for you. Maybe you can't see it like I can. You can kind of tell, look at his skin color. That's not the regular, Mexican tone, okay? Let's go back. Now look at this brother right here. He definitely looks like he's African mixed, and definitely this guy right here. Now this guy could be my cousin. I'm just saying. That's how these two, but these guys are Mexican. These guys are Afro-Mexicans, okay? Let me see what else is significant on this particular page. I don't want to go too detailed and too deep, because I have popped up two more sites. Look at this. Mexicans of African descent fight for recognition in Mexico. Okay. Published May 21st, 2020. They're like, hey, we know we're Mexican, but we're also African, because a lot of Mexicans are far removed from African culture, meaning they don't want to recognize their African culture. Because believe it or not, the tango, the merengue, all those are African dances. Now, listen, don't beat me up. Don't quote me if you're Mexican. Just go do your research. I knew a buddy. He knew that there was Africans in Mexico, and he knew that he was mixed with Aztecian Native Americans and Spanish. And he said, I probably got a couple of drops of African in me as well. Because he had on one side of his body, he had African tattoos. On the other side of his body, he had Native American tattoos. I said, why you don't have Spanish tattoo? And he was like this, come on, man. They raped and put, you know what I'm saying? He understood where he came from, essentially. So he recognized that. So let me look. I don't really know how to pronounce those names, but it says the Dance of Judas, a traditional dance group in Monte Clara, an Afro-Mexican community in the state of Veracruz. An Afro-Mexican community. I know this is all new for you. I know this is all for new for you. And here's another one. Here's the president, Mexican president, Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, visiting the Afro-descendant community, I'm not going to butcher that name, in the state of Guerrero in 2020. I'm going to blow this up for you guys. I'm going to blow this up. Look at the African mask. Big lips, okay, cheeks, and his dark skin. And these are Afro-Mexican. This is an Afro-Mexican community. They're now beginning to get recognition. I'm not making this stuff up, guys. Just do your research. So who knew? I got two good friends, not just two. I know some people like this cliche, but I got two good friends that are Mexican. And I never had this conversation with them, but talking about GM and where they got stuff made, it made me just go to this subject. I don't know why. All right, last but not least, I popped up another website. About let me blow this up. About 1.2% of Mexican population has significant African ancestry, with 1.38 million self-recognized during the 2015 estimate. Okay, numerous Afro-Mexicans in the 21st century are naturalized Black immigrants from Africa and the Caribbean. Okay, I'm off of it, guys. I'm off of it. Don't you worry. We're back on point. All right. So here's a good thing I told you about the Snowflake IPO. I just want to do a quick update to that. This is why I believe this will be a good investment for your portfolio. Snowflake's IPO could value it as high as $24 billion. Here's the big ticker. Salesforce and Berkshire are going to invest in Snowflake. It's going to invest in Snowflake. I'm not going to get into this, but I'll just read this bit of information for you guys. The 75 to 85 per share IPO price target values the firm at between $20.9 billion and $23.7 billion. Huge sums for the private company. Its IPO could raise more than $2.7 billion from the startup. Okay, so they're already projecting that this is coming out at $75 to $85 per share. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm looking myself to buy about 5 shares. Okay, because when the IPOs first come out, when companies first come out, they don't offer options. They have to build up some time on the market before they start offering options. So I may buy 5 shares. Okay, and the next information, you guys probably want to know the release date. Okay, I have been searching. This is the only information that I can find. Now, I looked at a couple more websites, but this is the only information that I can find. It says the Snowflake IPO could take place as soon as September or October 2020, but the company leadership has expressed a willingness to wait to ensure ideal market conditions. So right now, it's not ideal market conditions. I can just tell you guys that the market has been, the tech market definitely has been doing absolutely terrible. It has not been doing good at all, okay? So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's my stock review for today. This is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired. You guys have a great and wonderful day. I'm out.